Last time I came through here, this was not at this stage. If you'll remember, this is what it looked like before. Bedroom 1. Let's go to the next bedroom. Bedroom 2. And this was bedroom 3, if you remember it. With this room, we drywalled everything. And the final bedroom, bedroom 4. If you'll remember this, it also looked quite a bit different. So everything is pretty much done now. You'll notice the baseboards aren't on. That's gonna be done at a later date only because we ran the drywall tight to the floor. So it is a nice clean finish against the floor to the carpet. And the trim hasn't been painted either. So that all still has to be done. Bathroom's untouched. That's gonna be done another day. That's the update for up here. It's looking pretty good. Everything did turn out pretty good up here. If you'll remember, we did a mix and match of how we finished each bedroom. For example, this bedroom had complete drywall done to it. There will be crown molding going up against the ceiling and wall intersection. That nursery only had wainscot on the bottom half. The rest, we stripped the wallpaper back on. It turned out fine. This room in here, we left the wallpaper on. It was pretty well done. The seams were tight, nothing was falling off, so we just painted over top of it and it looks good. For the ceiling, we did the same. And then for the bottom wainscot, we did the 1/4 inch drywall, like everywhere else. Hallway up here, what did we do for this one? I think we left the wallpaper on in most places. Same with the ceiling, and just painted it. And then for the guest room or office, or whatever this turns into, we removed the wallpaper from the walls and the ceiling actually, and did the 1/4 inch wainscot around the perimeter. As you can see as well, the flooring carpet is done in the stairwell, which turned out pretty good. Looks nice and clean. And we're downstairs. So for this wall underneath the stairs, we did shiplap rather than drywall. It took just as long, probably cost just as much. So a bit of an accent wall there, which is nice. For the floor, they tore up the carpet that was here, which exposed this cork floor. That was a bit more of a last minute decision, but in the future, they will at some point re-floor this. So just to get rid of the mess of the original floor, this is easier to sweep and clean in the time being. And then we do have all the trim done. It's all spackled, ready to be sanded. They went with 4.5 inch casing with a header piece. I'm not sure what this detail is called, but it's just a protrusion a little bit to add some depth to it. They'll be doing a crown type of piece of trim on top of this piece sometime in the future. And then down here, the casing is sitting on this plinth block. And then we have 8 inch baseboard here. And that's actually almost gonna bring it to the end of this job for now. I have this last day left here, and then we'll come back in a month's time and finish up the living room, which still needs to be mudded. That's what we're gonna do today, is hopefully get the first coat on, as well as the bathroom upstairs. We'll come back to that and see what kind of headway we can make there. I'm gonna get my mudding tools and jump on into this living room. This is the living room here. It's pretty straightforward. There's some outside corners, 1, 2, 3, 4 outside corners, inside corners. I shouldn't say it's that straightforward actually. And we have this arch as well. We skim coated this entire place with 1/2 inch drywall, similar for the same reasons as the other rooms, mostly because it was easier than repairing the original plaster, but the original plaster in this room specifically had lead on it as well. So homeowners wanted to cover that all up for safety's sake. They do have small kids and stuff, so rather than skim coating it with mud, which probably would have taken just as long, if not longer, we just went with the 1/2 inch drywall. You'll notice up in the corner here, I mudded against that crown mold. That was just to save time rather than re-trimming it. We were able to just mud that seam and make it look okay. That's what it was originally, so what I'm gonna have to carry on where I haven't done yet to clean up that edge. So I'm gonna start with that, use sheetrock 90 because that gap's pretty big, have it a little more solid. First things first actually, I do have some mud left over in here, not that much. I'm gonna do a few flats with this because I need this bucket to mix up the 90, so we'll do that. Might do things a little bit out of order from what I would normally do. High screw. Normally I would put on my tape and then go over it with a 10-inch curve or 12-inch curve or something and kind of do 2 coats in one. But I think it's more important that I deal with some of these bigger issues as well, so all the tape's on. I'm gonna go around and do a little bit more of this, and I'll tackle the sheetrock 90 for the ceiling wall transition. Got my 90 mixed up. Part of the noise you'll hear in probably a couple seconds. The masons are here fixing some brickwork outside. So the remainder of the video might be a silent collage with nice background music. So this really is a big extra step we're doing here. It was either this or try and crown mold over it. It was probably more expensive because we'd have to get extra big crown to cover the existing crown. Could have removed the existing crown, but there's lead in it, so we didn't want to go that route. So we're going this route. As soon as you start spreading this 90, it just accelerates the drying time so much faster, so it's not that enjoyable to do. Bit of a tricky balance because I have the mud in that gap that I'm filling up, And you want to make sure the gap is filled up, but you don't want too much mud where you have excessive squeeze out, because there's no place for this mud to go from going up against a piece of trim. So getting squeezed out is actually a little difficult. You want some squeeze out. Alright, that's the first one done. I'm going to carry on, do the 5 more that there are. Pretty much the same sequence. Fill it with 90, tape it, squeeze it out, put another coat of mud on. When that's dry, I'll go ahead and put a layer of regular mud on. Maybe at the end of the day we'll see, but I have quite a few more to do and it takes time, so I'm gonna get it. Okay, all the flats are done with 1 coat of mud and the tape. I'm going to go ahead and do the inside corners now. Because they all vary in being true 90, big gaps and everything, I'm going to use a bit of a cheater method and use the flexible corner here, no coat. So with this stuff I can bend it and make it into any corner, any angle that is required. This is beyond 90 degrees, so I could still use tape, but this is just gonna accelerate the application time, and because of the time crunch we are on, it's worth saving any time we can. And I'm not using the sheetrock 90 anymore, I'm using regular mud, so I have more working time. I'll just stick it in here. So once I push that to the corner, it's just a matter of squeezing some of that mud out, making sure it's full contact with that bead, and then I go back over it again with another layer of mud. And that'll be my first coat. I'm gonna go ahead and try and finish this up. So this corner is now embedded, and I can go ahead and apply technically the second coat of mud, a bit more thick. And I can go ahead and do both sides. And this is where you save time, because typically if you use paper tape, you only do one side at a time. But with this you can do both. So instead of 3 coats to finish, you should only need 2. Unlike the name, which makes you believe that you need no coats. And just like that, this inside corner is done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. And that's gonna do it for this episode. I'll cut it off there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.